guys, it is Anna Louise and I'm in for an extra video actually. I just uploaded last night, but I have been watching Storytimes so much recently on YouTube and I have just been really wanting to make one myself. I have been thinking and have been getting so many good ideas, and today's Halloween and I was like, it's a holiday, so why not do an extra video? And so today's video that I'm going to be doing is a story time, and yeah, I'm so excited about it. So let's just begin with this story time. So as you can tell by the title, the story is about this crazy guy who harassed basically me and my friend group and just try to like come in our group and be extremely obnoxious and mean and annoying and rude and all this other kind of stuff. So okay, so basically I am not going to use real names just for the sake of not really wanting people to find out. My friends do know I'm making this video, but just for the, I guess, safety / security purposes of this, I do not want to like get in trouble or anything, so I will be changing the names. But anyway, this story starts here in this first fall semester of college, and it is in one of my classes, and basically me and my two friends have it together. Let's just call them Sarah and B. So Sarah and B and I are in this class together, and we sit together like it's me, Sarah in front, and B to the side of me. And so we're just sitting there, and then this guy comes in and he's like, oh hi, like blah blah blah, like trying to be all nice and stuff. And so first of all, something about me is I'm extremely nice. Like I can't be rude, I can't be mean. It's really hard. It's even really hard for me to stand up to myself or for myself. It's not who I am. And for B and Sarah, it's kind of like the same way. Like they're always just nice to people. They can't really be mean to people, like even if they do something. It's just weird. I guess avoiding confrontation, I guess you could say. So anyway, you know, we're trying to be nice. I am just like, well, I don't really want to associate with you. I don't have many friends myself. I like to stay to myself. And who I talk to on a daily basis is the only people I really care to be talking to and associating with. Not like, I don't know, I feel like that makes me sound kind of like a recluse or weird, but I basically just enjoy myself and enjoy having my time alone. And when I'm at school, I go to talk to the people that I normally talk to and get my work done and go home, and that's just what I always do. I do talk to people, like I'm extremely nice, like I say, but like I'm not looking to make a friend, especially this a guy. So basically I'm trying to be nice, and he's like talking to us on the first day, and then like in our lab class period, which goes for a lot of freaking hours, like it lasts so many hours in a day, we go in there and you sit, I think, 4 to a table, and so me, B, and Sarah are all at a table, and then he comes in and just sits down with us. So we're like, okay. And he's really nice at first, and it's kind of like making jokes about sitting with us, and we're like, okay, yeah, well maybe this isn't going to be so bad. I don't prefer it. I wish it could have just been us, but you know, maybe he'll be nice, maybe things will be okay. And so we're sitting there, class is fine, perfect, whatever. Well, we have to go on field trips in this class, and thank God they're all over with now, because I freaking hate going on those field trips. But we have to go on field trips to observe things for the class, to write reports on. And so for this class, in college you don't have school buses, so you basically drive yourself or carpool. So me, B, and Sarah have decided, oh, we're just going to drive with each other and take turns. Well, let's call this guy John, because I don't obviously want to use his real name, so let's just call him John. So John's like, oh, well, I can drive you guys and blah, 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 this and that. And we're like, like, I don't know. And I'm just like, no, I want to ride with them. Like, I was just trying to, like, nicely, I don't exactly even remember what I said, like, per se, but I was basically trying to nicely be like, oh no, I don't want to ride with you, I don't know you. And my friend Sarah was like, well, I don't really think I'm really allowed to drive with people or ride with people that I don't know. And then she was like, well, do you have any, or something about, are you a good driver? And he was like, well, I have like 15 speeding tickets. And then we were like, which I'm pretty sure he was obviously kidding about that, because if he wasn't, he would have his license revoked. But if that's even the right word. But anyway, we were still like, what? And so yeah, I don't know, it was weird, but we were just kind of like, well, you can ride with us, because, I mean, we'd rather have him ride with us, I guess, than us ride with him. So the very first field trip that we went on, it was my turn to drive. So basically, this is where things kind of start getting worse. So we had a test that day, we get out of class, it's time to go, and he's just like, can I ride with you? And me being the person I am, I'm like, well, I was at first nicely trying to be like, I don't know. I drive a Mini Cooper, by the way, so it's like a small car, and there's not much room, honestly. I'm small, like, if you can see me, I'm small, and I barely fit in the back. And then having 4 people total in my car, I'm like, that's going to be crammed. You're probably not going to be comfortable. My car's small. I don't really think you'll fit. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I'm just saying, even a littler person can't really fit in the back because it's so tight, and then having 2 people in the back, that's obviously going to be, you know, worse. So I was like, but you know what, if you want to come, yeah, you're welcome to. And so I go in the bathroom, and B and Sarah sit out, and John's just standing there, and I come out, and they're like, I think you're making him feel awkward, like he feels like you don't want him to be in your car. But I'm just kind of like, no, it's fine, whatever. But I'm just weird about, like, people I don't know being in my car, especially if they're, like, a guy. I don't know. I don't even mean that to sound weird, but I'm engaged. And I'm just like, well, I don't know, because I don't know this guy's intentions. Like, is he going to be, you know, I don't know. So I was like, no, fine, just, like, come ride with us, whatever. So we get in my car, and then we're driving along. I had to stop to get a drink first because I was thirsty. And the whole time I'm driving, he starts getting pissed off about the way I'm driving. He's just like, I guess or what did he say? He was basically like, something about my brakes, like, well, I guess we can see your brakes work. And I was like, so that was like the first thing he said, and I was just like I was kind of taken back by it. And basically, my car, a Mini Cooper, they're more of a sports car, and they even have a sports mode. So if you've driven like a stick shift before and an automatic, you can tell a stick shift is more like start and stop, and it's kind of like puttery, if that makes sense. That's not even a word really, but it's really pushy, basically. And you can tell the difference with driving a sports car / stick shift to a regular car. A regular car is just a lot more smooth, like, going, and with this one, it is a lot of, like, push to it. So I was like, I tried to explain that, and he kind of laughed and was just like, you just suck at driving, basically. And I just kind of brushed it off, and we're driving some more, and he's making me nervous, and I'm an okay driver, like, I'm not a bad driver, but when I have people in my car, and especially if they're causing ruckus or making fun of my driving, then it's gonna, like, make my mind not gonna make me be able to drive normally, because I have this, like, thing in my mind. So we're driving along, and then he just starts complaining more and more about my driving, and he's like, you're driving like a bat out of hell, and blah blah blah, this and that, you don't know what you're doing, blah blah blah. Like, all this, especially the bat out of hell, that made me mad, because I'm like, you're making me nervous, you're yelling at me for how I'm driving. Like, I am trying not to have a wreck here, because I've never really had 4 people in my car before, because it's normally just me or like one other person, and so I was just completely freaking out. And it got to one point where he was like, I'm scared to even be in the car with you. I'm just going to get my mom to come all the way down here and take me home. Basically acting like he didn't want to get back in the car with me. And I was sitting there thinking, I didn't even want you in my car to begin with, and you're like complaining. So I basically, when we were almost to the field trip point, I was like, if you want, I will like pull over and just let you get out of my car and walk there. Because he was talking about getting out and apparently walking anyway. And I just felt mad people insulting my driving, because if you haven't been in my type of car anyway, then you wouldn't know that it is really pushy. And I'm like, that is not my fault. And so he was really making me mad. So, like, that was basically the first thing that was really off and weird about him. And then at the field trip, we were there walking around, and my one friend, B, we started to realize he kind of had a thing for her. And we would be walking, and he would be like, I guess you could say kind of nonchalantly flirting with her, and just kind of like making, I guess, a little bit of a pass towards her. And she has a boyfriend, mind you, and he's all over her. Oh, my cat. She's trying to get my coffee. Anyway, her boyfriend is all over her Instagram, and he followed her on Instagram and allegedly followed her and unfollowed her. And by the way, later in the story, he acted like he had never seen her Instagram before. But anyway, he Snapchatted her and was like, what did he say? Like, damn, mommy, you were fine. And I feel weird just saying that because I don't talk like that. But he said something like that. And on the field trip, we were walking through the woods, and he just leans over and whispers in my ear, like, your friend right there with the, I'm just going to say blonde hair, with the blonde hair, she is fine. And I was like, yes, she is. And I just turned away. I guess, I don't know. One thing I guess I should mention is I'm extremely sarcastic, but I'm really nice. And the thing is that my friends and I, we are sarcastic with each other, but it is always in like a really nice tone, and we know that we're kidding. And I don't think that he really realized that at first, so we kind of had like a distance between us anyway, because he thought I hated him. But at this point, like, I was genuinely like just pissed off, so I was just like, yeah, she is. And then like kind of turned around, so I'm like, you're being really weird. And some of the other guys in my class were like kind of bickering and laughing behind her back and they were talking about her, and you know, we knew it and we felt uncomfortable, so we just kept walking and tried to ignore it as best as possible. We didn't really like to be in front of them walking because we just thought it was weird, like we just wanted to be away. And so anyway, he knew I was mad at him, and we were basically like, yeah, she's mad at you because, which is obviously me, but my friends were like, yeah, she's mad at you because you were talking crap about her driving, which he was acting like it was a joke. But you'll realize later in the story that his sarcasm is, like, not sarcasm, it's real. And he was telling us, too, that he went to, like, a private school, I think, and there was only, like, 4 people in his graduating class, something like that. And that is also important later in the story. But anyway, there was that, and then, so later that day after the field trip, we had driven back to the campus, and he just basically wanted to hurry up and get out of my car because he was like thinking that he was unwelcome, which he kind of was, but I wasn't ever going to say like, no, you can't get in my car. I don't know, it was really weird, and I do feel bad if he thought I hated him at first, but now I don't care. Like, he can just think I hate him because I don't like him, because I am nice, and I have said this so much, but I feel like I need to justify that because I just have a really hard time being mean, and I did feel bad at first when he thought that I didn't like him because I'm just not like that. But anyway, we got back to the campus. He hurried up and got out of my car, and me and Sarah dropped off B, and he actually went up to B's car and was kind of like, hey, can I get a ride with you? Like, can you drive me over to my car, which was in the other parking lot? And she was like, fine. And he said, like, he went up to her. And this is when, like, the whole boyfriend thing came into the picture, because he went up to her and was like, can I talk to you? And she was like, yeah, what do you have to say? And she was, like, really nervous to be alone with him. Like, she didn't want to be alone with him anyway. He made her feel awkward, just like he made us feel awkward. And he was basically like, well, oh yeah, and keep in mind, our class is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So he was like, well, we may not be here next Tuesday, so why don't you make out with me? Like, no, she has a boyfriend, and that's just creepy. And she was like, you do realize I have a boyfriend, right? And he was like, oh, that makes sense. And she was like, you follow me on Instagram? And he was like, I've never seen your Instagram. And yeah, so that's where he like went and followed her and then unfollowed her because she was telling me when it happened. So he was like making advances towards her, and I guess who even knows if he knew she had a boyfriend or not, but he was on her Instagram, so it was all really weird, and she felt uncomfortable. And it was really weird that he said, why don't you make out with me, because who knows if we're going to be here next Tuesday. So anyway, that happened. That was weird. At that point, we were just nervous to be around him. Like, he made us feel awkward and very uncomfortable. And then, so basically the last major part that had to do with, or this is what had to do with me, and this is what just did it in for me. He works at a restaurant, which I'm not going to even say what restaurant it is, but it's in my town, and I used to go there quite often. So me and my fiance went in there one day. He was working, and he was like, hi, and I was like, I'm not going to wave at you. But that was like my sarcasm, is to where I was like joking, and I've explained this to him, but after I did it, I was like, why do I keep doing this to him? He obviously don't understand that I'm sarcastic. So I got out and I messaged him like, hey, I'm sorry, I was literally just being sarcastic. It was a joke. I hope you don't think I hate you, because I really don't. Because I was just trying to be nice. And he just opened it, and I was like, crap. because, you know, obviously I was trying to explain, I wasn't trying to be mean to you, it's just my initial reaction. Because if I see my friends and, like, if we saw each other out in public, we would probably, like, give each other a stare like this and be like, whatever, bye. And, like, say something, like, really rude, but as a joke. So, anyway, I got home later that night, and you know how on Snapchat, if you click on someone's name, it will say, like, so-and-so is typing to you? Well, I accidentally clicked on his name, and he messaged me back, and he's like, he cussed. He said something, like, why the F are you, or what, or something like, are you trying to message me? Like, something like that. And I was like, I didn't mean to, like, I accidentally clicked on your name. It was something of that sort, and then I was texting fast, and when I text fast, often my words don't come out right, so, like, they're all messed up. But with my friends, like, we get excited, we're like, blah, 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 and then the words don't come out right, but we know what each other's saying. Like, it gets to that point where the words aren't even words, but we know what we're saying. So it was kind of like that, and he was like, are you from Brooklyn? Because of what, something that had to do with the accent of what I said. I'm sorry, I am terrible at this. But something that I said, it was like the accent the people in, like, Brooklyn would have, and, or maybe it was New Jersey. I don't remember. Anyway, it was something like that, and I was like, no, I'm actually from England. Because I have a really good friend in England, and I watch a lot of British YouTubers, and so I was like, if I'm from anywhere, I'm just going to be from England. So I was joking. I was trying to make light of the conversation. And when I did that, this is where it went down, and I drew the line. So he messaged back, and he was like, well, that explains your teeth. And I was like, what? And I said it. I was like, what? Because at first, it just didn't register to me, and I was like, huh? And my fiance was sitting right there, and he told me, and I didn't even know this was a thing, and it pisses me off anyway that it's even a thing. But apparently, he said it's a thing that goes around that's saying that apparently people from England are supposed to have bad teeth. And I think that's bullcrap. It's crazy. I've never even heard of that, but he said he's seen it before as like a joke that people would say. So anyway, I started to get really upset because I was like, he just made fun of my teeth. Like, because honestly, you guys, literally, one of my biggest insecurities is my teeth. Like, my teeth is one of my biggest insecurities, for real. So I was deeply hurt by that, and I just said, F you, and then I deleted him, I blocked him, and before I said that, he had read the message where I said what, and just didn't answer. So I said F you, and then I deleted him, I blocked him, and I was hurt, and I told my friends, and they were upset, they were mad, and we kind of realized then that his sarcasm the whole time was never sarcasm, and he was just really being mean, and that hurt me so bad, and I literally cried about it, and I tried not to, like, I knew I shouldn't have let it get to me, but, like I say, my teeth is one of my biggest insecurities, and it still sticks with me every day that he said that, because, like I say, it is one of my biggest insecurities, and I did have braces for 3 days, this is a side story, but I was really sick with an eating kind of disorder thing at that time, and it made my teeth so sore that I could not eat at all, and I'd already lost over 20 pounds, and I was like 96 pounds, being like a 15-year-old, and it wasn't safe, so we got them taken off, and yeah, so it really hurt my feelings, and he didn't even make any kind of advances to apologize. After we went back to school, he just completely kind of ignored us, which was good, but he didn't apologize, not once, and after that, he started being really rude. He wouldn't show up for the field trips, but he would get people to sign off for him. Like, they would just sign, like, his name down on the attendance sheet, and he wouldn't show up, and he would take advantage of people in my class that are, like, super nice, down-to-earth people who I don't think would say no. Like, they would have a problem saying no, and they stood up for him and, like, gave him the notes, and he is just so rude, and, like, me and my friends, we hate going into class, having to be near him, and ever since then, I mean, I just hate being in that classroom around him, just because of what he said there, and then me and my friends were even to a point, like, maybe he didn't go to a private school, like, maybe he got sent away because of his attitude, like, maybe there's something behind this that we didn't know, as to why, you know, he didn't go to a regular school. But anyway, he's a bully, and I try to be nice, and I try to let him in when I didn't even want to, because, you know, I don't really associate with many people, especially, like, guys or anything, necessarily. and then you just get screwed over. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I sucked at explaining, because I know I probably did. But I really hope you enjoy this, you guys, and happy Halloween. And please give a big thumbs up and subscribe, which you can do by hitting my face right here, and click right here to watch another one of my videos, and it would mean the world to me if you did. And I hope you guys have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in my next video.